this is the first president. I've been here for 8 presidents. This is the first president to make a full-throated, unvarnished attack on the entirety of the FBI. Not going after J. Edgar Hoover, who was one person in the FBI and exonerating. This is to discredit the FBI and discredit his own Justice Department. You know, look, I spent a lot of time traveling around the world. What do you think they're thinking in Moscow? This is doing everything that Putin ever wanted. Sowing doubt about whether or not our justice system is fair, sowing doubt about whether or not there is anything that's remotely consistent with our Constitution. It's a disaster.
You think he should sit down with the special counsel?
If I were the president's lawyer, I would probably tell him not to sit down with the special counsel.
Why?
Because
and they subpoena you, and you wind up in front of a grand jury without a lawyer.
Yeah, and if you're in a situation where the president has some difficulty with precision.
That is one of the most subtle things I've ever heard you say.
And one of the things that I would worry about if I were his lawyer is him saying something that was just simply not true without him even planning to be disingenuous.
Do you think he has that little control over whether he tells the truth or not?
I just marvel at some of the things he says and does. Like, what, 2 days ago? Anybody didn't stand up and clap for him was un-American and then maybe even treasonous?
They say it was tongue-in-cheek. Democrats can't take a joke.
Well, let me tell you, he's a joke.
That's the first look of a new interview airing tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on CNN. I want to talk about it with my panel. First of all, let's start, Amanda, with the notion that President Trump's attacks on the FBI are doing everything that Putin ever wanted in Biden's view. Is he right?
Well, certainly what Trump is doing and not take a stand against Russia's intervention in the 2016 election is beneficial to Putin. But it is interesting what Joe Biden is doing here. To me, he's articulating a pretty firm Democratic message against Trump. So is Biden positioning himself for 2020, or is this more comic relief? I don't really know what he's up to. I'd be interested to hear more.
I think I'm sure that the interview will air later tonight on Anderson 360. But I think it certainly looks like he's thinking about running. But Anna, do you agree with Vice President Biden that the attacks on the FBI and the justice system, the Justice Department by President Trump are sowing doubts in how the justice system works, whether the U.S. system is consistent with the U.S. Constitution, it's doing Putin's bidding for him?
I absolutely do. And not only do I, so do other Republicans like John McCain, who put out a statement. I think Biden's words echo John McCain's statement. It's very, it's very disturbing and almost like a Republican identity crisis for me. Because I remember when we used to be vertically against Russian despots and dictators and for law enforcement and would defend law enforcement and U.S. institutions. And it seems that everything is turned upside down, turned on its head under this Trump presidency. Look, I think Joe Biden is obviously leaving himself open to the option of running for president. He's definitely not going out to pasture. And he comes across in this, Trumpian world as the anti-Trump. There's this humanity to him. There's almost a statesman-like quality to him that Trump sorely lacks. And to me, as a Republican, he stands out above the Democratic fray of the other 10, 15, 20 something that are maybe vying for the job.
Joe Biden would be, I believe, 78 in 2020. Donald Trump, the president, would be 74. Would his age be an issue? He's only 4 years older than President Trump.
You know, it obviously wasn't an issue for Donald Trump when he ran and it was elected and became the oldest president. So you almost feel like it would cancel each other out. I mean, I think what we've seen from Biden is really interesting because he is one of the people who you have seen Democratic candidates like Doug Jones want in that state and want in that race. It'll be interesting to see throughout 2018. Nobody really wants the Clintons on the stump, whether it's Hillary or Bill Clinton. And if if you're somebody like Joe Manchin or Joe Donnelly or John Tester, you probably don't want Barack Obama out there either. So it'll be interesting if some of those red state Democrats feel like that Joe Biden can kind of carry their message and be a surrogate for them. It's also interesting to see how different he is from Obama in terms of really going directly after Trump.
Yeah, calling him a joke.
Calling him a joke. You haven't seen that from Barack Obama, who barely even says Donald Trump's name and kind of goes after him in an oblique, indirect way.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Cuomo saying, about the treasonous thing, they're saying Democrats can't take a joke. Joe Biden says, well, he is a joke. I mean, that is strong.
Yeah, listen, I think Joe Biden definitely has the demeanor to take on a figure like Trump, but let's not paint Joe Biden in too good a light. He's ran for president many times. He will have to answer for the legacy of Barack Obama. Yeah, he has lost every time.
Just a reminder. Yeah.
He is not in step with the younger, hard left, more progressive wing of the Democratic primary that is likely to, have a lot of control over the candidate it elects. And so Joe Biden can try, but he will have a fight if that's where he wants to go.
Nia, Malika, Anna, Amanda, thanks so much. This programming note, you can see all of Chris Cuomo's exclusive interview with former Vice President Joe Biden tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.